2025-009. So,
Okay, I hit record.
okay. So do we have the complainant and respondent in the waiting room?
We have respondents, but we don't have the complainant.
Okay.
What's the grace period? Or how long we wait for the complainant? Is there a written rule on that?
I'll let Evan confirm, but I believe that the attendance by either isn't mandatory to complete the inquiry,
Oh, okay.
but it would be up to the commission and Evan to kind of decide what to do from there. Do you want me to go down into the lobby to see if she's there? Just to make sure she didn't get confused about it being in person, or?
Yeah, if you would, let's do that. So
Absolutely. Give me just a second. Okay, I'll be back.
thank you. Thank you.
Just a reminder, we're still recording.
But nobody's in the lobby and nobody has shown up at the Phoenix building either.
I'm going to give her 3 more minutes to 5:45, at which time I would be inclined just to proceed. And we can bring in the respondent, perhaps have someone read the complaint. Abby or Mackenzie, could you be prepared to do that? Read the complaint, and then I'll ask the respondent to, well, what I'll actually do is I'll see if the respondent wants to waive confidentiality. If she doesn't, then we'll go into closed session. I will have the respondent sworn in. Then we can read the complaint and have the respondent respond to the complaint. And then have the commission members ask any questions they care to ask. That's how we'll proceed. That sounds agreeable to everyone. Okay, could you have the respondent join the meeting?
Yes. I'm gonna let us seats in right now.
Yes.
Hey, Amber, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. So I'm going to call to order the preliminary hearing for CO 2025-009 of the Ethics Commission. Ms. Dietz, the complainant has not appeared. We do have the written complaint and the commission can proceed on that basis. So we're going to proceed accordingly. Do you waive confidentiality? And what
I
that
do
means
not.
is, okay, so what that means is that we will go into closed session in order to hear the complaint, what was in the written complaint to us, and also to hear your response to that complaint. So I'll entertain a motion at this point for closed session.
I move to go into closed session pursuant to KRS 61810, section 1, subsection F, KRS 61810, section 1, subsection J, and 19-OMD-187 as discussion of CO-2025-009 may lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an employee, member, or officer, and contains the deliberations of a quasi-judicial body regarding individual adjudications.
Thank you. There's the motion. Is there a second? Second? Calling for a second. Thank you. All those in favor, say aye and raise your hand. Aye. Okay, the motion carries. So we are now in closed session. to go out of closed session and back into open session for this preliminary hearing. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
All right, so we are now out of closed session and in open session.
So I move to dismiss this matter on the basis that it lacks factual evidence of misconduct.
There's a motion to dismiss CO 2025-009 on the basis that it lacks factual evidence of misconduct. Is there a second for that motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
The motion carries. So CO 2025-009 has been dismissed. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn the preliminary hearing for CO 2025-009. Is there a motion to adjourn the hearing?
So
A
moved.
second? Second, all those in favor of adjourning the preliminary hearing for CO 2025-009 signify by saying aye or raising your hand. All right, this preliminary hearing is hereby adjourned.
Thank you.
All right, so we will reconvene for 2025-005 through 8 when we have the respondents for that complaint with us. I see Mr. Wides is here. Yes. Mr. Womack, welcome.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Mr. Buckles is with us,
Yes.
and Ms. Baxter is with us.
Yes, I am here and hopefully you can hear me. I don't really use Microsoft Teams, so I'm not sure how to make my camera work, but I'm working on it.
Okay. All right. Okay, we have a quorum of the Ethics Commission, and we have the respondents for CO 2025-005 through 008. So I'd like to call the preliminary hearing for these complaints into session. The complainant for these complaints is not with us this evening. The commission can proceed with hearing a complaint based on the written complaint, even if the parties are not present. Again, this is a preliminary hearing, not a full hearing. So this is not a hearing at which there would be any resolution or determination of misconduct. It's simply a preliminary hearing to see whether, on the one hand, the commission would have jurisdiction given the individuals against whom a complaint has been filed, and to see whether the commission would have jurisdiction given the type of misconduct that's being alleged. It's purely a preliminary hearing. So the way we will proceed is that we will have the complaint read. It's the same complaint in all 4 cases. And then I'll ask each of the respondents if they would like to respond to the complaint. We have your responses. 3 of you have submitted written responses. The commission has those responses, and we've reviewed them prior to the meeting. So that's available to us. The first thing I need to ask is, do you waive confidentiality in regards to this preliminary hearing? So I'd like to go through each of the respondents, if I may. So Mr. Womack, do you waive confidentiality?
No, sir, I do not.
Ms. Baxter?
I don't feel strongly, but if others don't want to waive it, I'm happy to not waive it as well.
Okay. Mr. Buckles?
Waive it.
And Mr. Wides?
I have no objection.
Okay, given the commission's proceedings, then we have to go into closed session to hear statements by respondents or the complainant if the complainant were here. So I'll entertain a motion. Excuse me?
Sorry to interject, but if it is easier for the committee waiving, if that'll allow the process to go easier, I'm not opposed to waiving.
So it'll have to be the case that all parties to the complaint would have to waive confidentiality. The complainant has waived confidentiality. So if all 4 respondents waive confidentiality, that would simply mean that we would not have to go in and out of closed session to hear statements. It all can be done in open session. The commission will go into executive session at some point and ask all of you to step off for us to discuss internally what we've heard, and then come back into open session in terms of any motions that need to be made. So should I go through this again, Mr. Womack? You want to waive confidentiality?
Well, yeah, if one person waives, then we'll have to do them all separately. Or not separately, we'd have to bifurcate the ones that waive confidentiality with the ones that don't. But if everybody waives confidentiality, if everyone does not waive confidentiality, then we can, and you're all agreeable, we can hear them all. The Ethics Commission can hear them all at the same time.
Yes.
Just really quick, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to, for the record, make note that Bethany Baxter and I have a personal relationship. I don't think that it will affect the way that I vote or discuss the case, but I just wanted to make that clear for everyone here.
Okay, thank you for providing that. So for the respondents, we're in a situation where the easiest thing would be for all of you to waive confidentiality, or all of you not to waive confidentiality. And actually, the proceedings can go rather quickly either way, but it's up to you.
I will agree to waive.
Waive.
Dave? Mr. Buckles?
Waive it, please.
And Mr. Wides?
I'm waiving.
All right, so we have waived confidentiality. So this will be conducted in open session. So I'm going to ask Abigail Allen to read the complaint. It's the same exact language in all 4 instances, and I'll have her read the complaint, and then I'll ask if any of the respondents wish to make any statements in response to the complaint, and then I'll ask the commission if they have any questions of the respondents. So Abigail, if you would read the complaint.
Absolutely. First, I'm going to swear everyone in. So if you are planning on speaking and offering testimony, please raise your right hand.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So here is the complaint, which was received on February 27th of 2025 in the clerk's office. The full name of the person or legal entity filing the complaint is Taniqua Oliver, and she stated that the person who is subject to the complaint is Mr. Joseph Buckles, Mr. Stephen Wides, Miss Bethany Baxter, and Mr. James Womack, the members of the Administrative Hearing Board for the Code Enforcement. And she references in the nature of the violation, section 25-5.2, parenthetical 1, and KRS 61.810, parenthetical 2, and then goes on to say the respondents, the respondent is a member of the Administrative Hearing Board for the Code Enforcement and has been hosting appeal hearings in secrecy in secrecy that are bound by law to be public per the Kentucky Open Meetings Act. And then the KRS 61.810, parenthetical 2, all 4 board members are being reported to rotate as hearing officers for an unbeknownst amount of time. And then see previous page, preserving evidence for impending federal lawsuit. And that's what she says.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, again, we have received the written statements from 3 of you, and those were part of the packets that we all received and reviewed in preparation of this preliminary hearing. So we have that information in front of us. So I'll walk through the list to see if any of the respondents have any comments, additional comments or observations that they'd like to make. I'll start with you, Mr. Womack.
I will rely upon my written statement for my letter that I've submitted dated March 17th of 2025.
Okay. Ms. Baxter?
Happy to answer any questions, but I submitted something as well, and I don't have anything to add at this time.
Okay. Mr. Buckles?
Nothing to add.
Okay. Mr. Wides, you did not submit a written statement. Would you care to respond in any way to the complaint?
I would agree with the comments made in both Mr. Buckles and Mr. Womack's statements that have been submitted. I haven't seen Ms. Baxter's, but I'm sure I would agree with what her response is as well. And I did not want to devote any more time to producing some type of letter or response. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Do any of the commissioners have any questions for any of the respondents? So hearing none, the commission will go into executive session. We will ask all of the respondents to step off of this meeting. We will notify you when we come back out of executive session, at which time I will entertain any motions that the commission might wish to make regarding the disposition of this complaint. So we are now going into executive session.
So should I actually leave the call? Is that what we should do? Sign off?
Yes,
We need a motion to go into closed session.
Okay. Because we are all in. So is there a motion to go into closed session?
Yeah. I move to go into closed session pursuant to KRS 61810, Section 1, Subsection F, KRS 61810, Section 1, Subsection J, and 19 OMD 187 as discussion of CO 2025-005, CO 2025-006, CO 2025-007, and CO 2025-008, all consolidated into CO 2025-005. May lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an employee, member, or officer, and contains the deliberations of a quasi-judicial body regarding individual adjudications.
So I have a motion to go into closed session. Is there a second? A second? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand. Aye. So we have a motion to go into closed session that's been passed. So we are now going into closed session. When we come out of closed session, we will have you come back into the meeting to be present with us in open session. So we are back in open session. I'm going to ask Evan Thompson, the legal counsel for the commission, to share a piece of information about a finding regarding a complaint about the Opens Meeting Act. So, Evan?
In line with the complaint filed by Ms. Oliver relating to open meetings violations, she had also filed an open meetings complaint with the Attorney General. And in 25 OMD 57, the Attorney General found that the board did not violate the Open Meetings Act by conducting a series of less than quorum meetings in compliance with KRS 6588292A.
Thank you. So I'll entertain a motion regarding CO 2025-005 through 008. Is there a motion that the commission would like to make?
I move to dismiss the complaints at issue herein because this matter lacks a minimum factual basis to support acts of misconduct on the respective complaints.
Is there a second? Second for the motion? Is there a second? Second. Thank you, Christine. All those in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
All right. The complaint CO 2025-005 through 008 has been dismissed. I'll entertain a motion to convene the preliminary hearing for those complaints. Is there a motion to convene or to, excuse me, adjourn? So moved. A motion. Okay, thanks, Gary. Second? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Well, this preliminary hearing is hereby convened. I'd like to thank the respondents for attending. When we receive a complaint of misconduct, the only way the commission has of initially deciding whether there's any basis to move forward in any kind of substantial way on the complaint is to hold a preliminary hearing such as this. So we appreciate your participation in this hearing. So our business is concluded for this evening. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service. Yep.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yes, have a good evening. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.